Thank you for watching Murder, Monsters, and Mysteries. Tonight we take a look at a murder. The murder of Michael Jackson. Now, was Michael Jackson murdered? We don't know for sure. Here's what we do know. Conrad Robert Murray is a former cardiologist who had been working as a doctor for many years and had been Michael Jackson's doctor in 2009 when he died. In 2011, Murray was convicted of involuntary manslaughter and was sentenced to 4 years, but got out after just 2 of them. A subsequent 60 Minutes video interview upon his release made Murray look more guilty in most people's opinions, not less. In the video, Murray claims that he had left Michael Jackson alone for 2 minutes, and when he'd left him, Michael Jackson was in a state of unconsciousness, asleep. He claimed that during that 2.5 minutes that he had left Michael Jackson alone, the pop star woke up, prepared a needle, and injected himself with an overdose of a powerful surgical drug, anesthetic propofol, which he'd been using improperly as a bedtime sleep agent. In the interview, Robert Murray kept claiming that he didn't kill Michael Jackson and barely had anything to do with it, and almost put all the blame on Michael Jackson himself in the interview, not taking much responsibility for the piles of drugs, like anesthetic propofol, found all over the Jackson bedroom and residence. The interviewer thought it was very bizarre that he was prescribing Michael Jackson something not ever used as a sleep aid, that no doctor should ever recommend as a sleep aid. So bizarre that they would give something so risky to Michael Jackson. Another strange story that came out in the interview was that on the ambulance ride to the hospital, Conrad Murray, rather than helping the paramedics with Michael Jackson, took that time to call his girlfriend. In the interview, he also claimed that Michael Jackson still talks to him, and he said the last time Michael Jackson had spoken with him after his passing was the day that he was sentenced. He claimed, I guess the spirit of Michael Jackson came up behind him and gently put his hands on his shoulders and then whispered something in his ear, which he wouldn't divulge to the 60 Minutes host. But why would Conrad Murray, an intelligent cardiologist, not be more careful with his patient? Michael Jackson was, after all, paying him $150,000 a month for the sole purpose of keeping Michael Jackson's health up. So you could call his passing an embarrassing and epic failure. There are many who believe that Michael Jackson was murdered, including several members of his family. As far as motive for the murder goes, there are 2 possible organizations. Russian intelligence officials previously said that they believed Michael Jackson was killed by the CIA after they examined data which was transmitted by a Russian military satellite, 2450 Cosmos, which showed that immediately prior to the pop star's death, an electromagnetic pulse, similar in pattern to EMR weapons, was used and pointed at the exact coordinates of the pop star's home. The Russian agency believed that the reason the CIA had to assassinate Michael Jackson was because of a contract the King of Pop had signed with the King of Bahrain, Sheikh Abdullah bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the previous November in London, which he signed in exchange for millions of dollars previously sent to Michael Jackson by the Sheikh, in which Jackson promised he would allow his sold-out United Kingdom concerts to be a platform for warning to the world of a soon-to-occur mass genocide event. Michael had said he would make a song similar to Heal the World for the Palestinian people. The song Heal the World was originally made about children struggling worldwide from starvation and poverty. The song We've Had Enough is about unarmed Palestinians getting brutally and unjustly killed by Israeli defense forces. He was planning to use his tour to expose this abuse by Israel against Palestinian people, and much more. Sheikh Abdullah bin Hamad Al Khalifa was loaning Michael Jackson the money so he could have his tour, and his repayment was the plan to expose the abuse by Israel. If you look up on YouTube the song We've Had Enough, you'll hear the message behind the lyrics. Powerful stuff. And now for a brief commercial break.
From the evil one, deliver me.
From the evil one, deliver me.
At the hour of my death,
At the hour of my death,
call me and bid me to come to thee.
call me and bid me to come to thee.
Give me the compass. If you don't, we'll take her eyes. We'll take your family's eyes. We'll make this whole town blind.
From the evil one, deliver me.
From the evil one, deliver me.
At the hour of my death,
At the hour of my death,
Probably should have come here first.
come to thee.
call me and bid me.
Prince Jackson, Michael Jackson's son, testified that he believed that Michael Jackson was murdered. He said Michael Jackson often cried after he spoke with AEG Live executives. After he got off the phone, he would cry. Prince Jackson testified. He would say, "They're gonna kill me. They're going to kill me." His father told him that he was speaking of AEG Live CEO Randy Phillips and his ex-manager, Dr. Tome. This testimony Prince Jackson gave at his family's wrongful death lawsuit against Jackson's last concert promoter, AEG Live. Prince had testified that Phillips had visited Jackson at his Los Angeles mansion and that he had spoken aggressively to Conrad Murray the night before his father's death, Conrad being the doctor who was sentenced to 4 years for manslaughter. Phillips was grabbing Conrad's elbow, Prince said. "It looked aggressive to me. He was grabbing him by the back of his elbow and they were really close, and he was making hand motions." Prince didn't hear what Phillips was saying, but he read the body language. Jackson hadn't been there during that conversation because he was at his last rehearsal, Prince said. He had at the time called Michael Jackson to let him know that Phillips was there, and Michael Jackson had asked him to offer Phillips some food and drink. And that was Prince's last conversation with his father, which would be a pretty suspicious circumstance. You see an angry manager yelling at the doctor who's in charge of Jackson's health, and then later Michael Jackson ODs on enough drugs to kill almost anyone. Also in his testimony, he gave his disturbing account of Jackson's last moments alive, as Dr. Conrad tried to do CPR on him. Michael Jackson's 3 children, Prince, Paris, and Blanket, and their grandmother, Catherine Jackson's, were plaintiffs in the lawsuit, which contended AEG Live was liable in Jackson's death because the company had hired, retained, and supervised Murray, the doctor convicted of manslaughter. Murray had admitted that he gave Michael Jackson nightly doses of propofol to treat his insomnia. The coroner had ruled that the singer died of an overdose of this drug, though Dr. Murray claims that he wasn't the one to give the last dose. Later on, the family took AEG to court in a wrongful death lawsuit, which they lost. At the time of his passing, it's believed that Michael Jackson was $500 million in debt. This certainly put extra stress on the pop star, and it might also be a motive for murder. If Michael Jackson was murdered, the motive would obviously be money or politics. I mean, what other reason would there be? It seems like the family mostly blames AEG. So do some other celebrities as well. The CIA connection, though, is also very interesting. What do you think, guys? Did Michael Jackson die because of a horrible accident? A miscalculation? Or as some allege, was he murdered by AEG over money? Or did the CIA want him out of the way because he was about to explore a narrative that they didn't want made public? Thank you for watching Murder, Monsters, and Mysteries. If you enjoyed tonight's video, please like and subscribe, as we'll be uploading more regularly.